Let's bring in retired Admiral James Stavridis, the former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO and an NBC News analyst. Admiral Stavridis, good morning. So the IDF has promised this response will come from the air, it will come on the ground, it will come from the sea. We haven't seen the ground invasion yet, as Richard just reported. But what should we expect here in the coming days?
We're going to have more reports of special forces, skirmishing, initial probing operations on the ground. I think we will see activity from the sea because the Israeli SEALs, their commandos, are very capable of coming in, particularly in periods of darkness. We'll see reports of that. In the air, we're going to see more of the precision-guided strikes that have been going on, Willie. Sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, almost certainly, a major ground assault will begin. Tanks, armored personnel carriers, troops moving swiftly. They're going to go in looking for the hostages. They're also going to go in after Hamas, its command and control, ammunition. All of the Hamas entities are going to be the target, coming very soon.
As you say, the stated goal from the IDF is to crush Hamas so that it can never carry out another terrorist attack like the one we saw last weekend, but also to rescue those hostages, up to 150 of them. How difficult an operation will that be, Admiral?
I cannot conceive of a harder military operation, Willie, as follows. There are so many hostages, over 150. They are arrayed throughout this warren of buildings and upper possibilities, but they could also be down below the ground in 300 miles of tunnels. It is a dedicated and diabolical foe who no doubt will kill the hostages if they are aware of Israelis closing in. I've been involved in many hostage rescue operations over the years. This is the most difficult one I've ever seen.
We also have the question of 2 million, more than 2 million residents of Gaza. 1 million of them, or a little bit more, in the northern part have been told to quickly move to the south because the invasion is going to come into the north. How do you, as someone who has participated in war planning, how do you look at that challenge of you're going after Hamas, you want to crush the terrorists, but also there are a whole lot of civilians there in harm's way?
I know how the Israeli Defense Forces approaches this. It's very similar to the United States. In addition to the planners who are very focused on the pure offensive combat operations, the Israeli Defense Forces will have set up internal cells with legal advisors, teams that reconnaissance and searching are focused on the civilians. All of that runs in parallel to the main battle thrust. And in particular, Willie, to conclude, they'll be looking for how can they provide safe routes. And you see the IDF making announcements, telling them where to go. Sadly, you see Hamas evidently planning improvised explosive devices, blocking those paths. Israel will do everything it can to provide safe passage, and they will do everything in the diplomatic world to try and assist with setting up humanitarian camps that these who are fleeing the combat can get to. So Israel has a very focused effort to minimize collateral damage. I'm confident they'll do everything they can.
Admiral James Stavridis, always great to have your expertise on these matters. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.